Pavlov's dog's experiment, isn't it? We have learned it yesterday. Not yesterday, in previous class. And also we have learned about Skinner theory. Skinner theory of Pavlov called classical conditioning. What is classical conditioning? In case of something supreme, that is called classic, is it? Suppose if you are a cricketer, if you play a good cricket, then you can say, oh, classic shot, is it? So Pavlov's dog's experiment is called classical conditioning. Why? This conditioning is common to all. Yeah? What is that? That is a stimulus. If there is a stimulus, the stimulus will inspire you to do a thing, will inspire you to learn a thing, and next time that inspiration will be put in your behavior. That is classical conditioning. That is Pavlov's dog's experiment. But in Skinner, that is operant conditioning. Operant, that means operate. Which will operate? One thing will operate other. Positive stimulus will inspire you positively, and you will be open to learn anything. And negative stimulus will not inspire you, and you will be closed. Closed means you will not try actually to learn a thing. That is operant conditioning. But that is a part of behavior. Okay. So second language learning has been a sort of behavior that was described by Skinner and Pavlov. Okay, that means in which way? In behaviorist theory, imitation is there. First of all, every child will hear something from their parents, hear something from their elders, neighbors, and whatever may be. And that the child will imitate next time, and he will try to learn that language. A good example, I can say that my first daughter started to produce the sound ka. What is ka? That means in the rooftop of our building, okay, a crow came over here and started getting the sound. That means ka, ka, ka. Okay. So he tried to accept the sound and he tried to imitate that sound. But that ka, only 2, 3 or 4 months he said. Okay. He didn't, she didn't get it in his behavior. Once upon a time he stopped producing that sound, and she switched to some other sounds. Here this theory is challenged. That is, language learning is a sort of behavior. That behavior can be termed as the performance, repetition, but this theory is challenged by Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky said that yes, if it is a pattern of behavior, then why the daughter stopped producing the sound ka? Yes, and also he said that, okay, you will be getting a word. Suppose a child may get sound baba, ma, dada, kaka, like that. Okay. But getting this sound, children try to produce new sound. The sound he or she didn't hear actually. So from which perspective, from which stimulus he has get that sound. Just for an example, you know bean, vegetable bean, yeah, bean. Okay, so in the winter season, I purchased so many vegetables. Okay, and the cooking was there. Okay, but my elder sister, he cooked bean with মটরশুটির যে হচ্ছে দানাগুলো ওগুলো সিমের মধ্যে দিয়ে রান্না করে। আমার ছোট মেয়ে বলছে যে এটা হলো সিমের বল। এখন সিমের সে বিচি শুনেছে, তাহলে সিমের বল তো সে কখনো শুনে না। তাহলে সিমের বলটা কি তার এই চাইল্ডের কি হলো ইনভেনশন। সে একটা জিনিস শুনে সেখান থেকে সে কি একটা নতুন জিনিস যদি ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ লার্নিং যদি আমাদের একটা বিহেভিয়ারের প্যাটার্ন হয়, তাহলে এই যে বল শব্দটা সে আবিষ্কার করলো কোথা থেকে? Here Chomsky said that actually Skinner said that human brain is vacant, a vacant sheet, and it will get input from elders, learners, okay, and the vacant and in that vacant sheet the language will come to the children and it will be a part of their behavior and they will be learning. But Chomsky said that this is not the vacant sheet. Actually, from our birth we have got a language sensitive portion in our brain, and that brain getting help from input will try to produce the language. So language learning is not a part of our behavior, it is a part of our innate capability. That means human child or human being will have a language sensitive portion in his or her brain that will help him to learn language. So language learning is not a social behavior. Language learning is not a matter of performance. Language learning is not a matter of imitation. Language learning is not a matter of our pattern behavior. Rather, it is something that the children get stimulated by input, and they will try to produce language from their innate capability. And for this reason, this language learning theory is called innatism. Innatism, this word is derived from innate. Innate means inborn. That means our brain, human brain has got a capacity, language learning capacity, that is called inborn capacity, and that capacity is responsible to produce a language and learn a language. That is called innatism in language learning. Innatism in SLA. It has another name, Nativist theory. It has another name, Naturalist theory. It has another name, Rationalist theory. Okay, so Innatist theory of language learning has several names. What are the names? That is Nativist theory, Rationalist theory, and what did I say? Naturalist, Nativist, Innatist, Rationalist. That is the theory that is called. And Chomsky wrote that book especially as a reaction to Skinner book, especially operant conditioning. That means operant conditioning, language learning is not a sort of behavior, it is a sort of something that we can learn with the help of an innate capacity, that is innatism. And he wrote this book in the mid 20th century, that is exactly 1959, not 69, 1959. Okay, now again we can make an analogy. That means in case of innatist theory, we learn language naturally with the help of our brain. In case of behaviorist theory, we get stimulated by some stimulus, that is inspiration, or for chocolate, or for a good pen as a prize, that you will be stimulated and you will learn a language. What is input then? In innatist theory, is input necessary? We can make an analogy that yes, we will learn language naturally from our inborn capacity, isn't it? Okay, so after the birth, if we put a child in isolation, that means after getting birth, the child will be kept in a room. Anybody will not be talking to his or her. What will be? Because Chomsky said that means we will learn language naturally. So after getting birth, I have put the child in an isolated room, and I have kept it 6 months or 1 year. What will be happening then?
He won't be able to learn English.
Will that child learn language? Yes. So there is a portion there. What is the portion? That is the input will be there. In the second class most probably we have talked about input. Input play a vital role. So innatist theory or nativist theory says that no, input should be there. So what would be the role of input in innatist theory? The role is that, suppose it's a gun, it's not a gun. Suppose I say. And every gun will be a trigger, isn't it? In case of nurture, the language sensitive portion of our brain, there should be a trigger. And what is the trigger? Input is the trigger. If input will be there, then the trigger. Okay. Again, after getting the linguistic data, that will be the input. So why English child will not learn Bangla language? Because trigger, in which way you will put the trigger, that means input, that means the brain, the language sensitive portion of the brain will be stimulated with the trigger, that means the input, and the child will learn. Okay. In case of behaviorist theory also there is an importance of input. Input was vital role in behaviorist theory, and as the same way innatist theory didn't discard the importance of input. Input means language data. Whatever may be the ways you have to get the language data. That is innatist theory. It was pointed out that in many instances there is no match between the kind of language to be observed in the input and the language that the learner produced. As I have said, that means with the help of their brain. But however, input play a role. But it is a matter of research. What might be the finest input? What might be the best input? In which way learner will be getting the optimal input? There is a matter of research, because in which way learner will be accepting what language, it's a matter of research. Okay. But we can't deny the importance of input, even in behaviorist theory and also in innatist theory. In innatist theory, input will be a trigger that will trigger the language sensitive portion of our brain, and the child will try to produce new language with the help of other language. Other language, that means what he or she has heard, what he or she has imitated. Through that he will be learning the language. And Chomsky's mentalist view of language learning emphasizes what is called the learner's acquisition device. We know that is device. That device is called LAD. And LAD, language acquisition device. And the research is beginning to show that mere exposure to the L2 is not enough. So language data will be the input, isn't it? So research, they say that okay, after getting birth, if I put a child in the second language environment, then that will not happen. The language learning will not happen. We have to put input in in the finest way or in the best way, so that the learner can get stimulated and start learning or start discovering new words. Okay, in 5 or 6 years age, every child start producing so many languages with the help of their brain. Yeah. There is a movie, I forgot the movie. There is a boy, actually this boy wouldn't come up with the school without tiffin. Yeah? No, it is not the Hindi movie, it is the English, it is the English movie. And the boy, actually, he wouldn't come with the school with breakfast, with the tiffin, and for this reason he was humiliated, and he started telling many stories. So why? Huh?
Stanley Cutter.
A boy, school boy, yeah.
Yeah, Stanley Cutter.
I have forgot the name. Okay. English movie, not a Hindi movie.
Language.
Yeah. So there what had happened, that means the boy invent different kind of stories. He said that my mom is outside the country at present, and for this reason I couldn't able to come up with the tip. And in such a way he invent. In which way he invent? That means the boy imagined the word. Actually this boy had no mother, no father. He was an orphan boy. Okay. So in such a way, exposure to L2 will instigate your language learning device, and you will be learning a language according to the Innatist theory. An input selected and graded according to the formal and logical criteria, and it is, as Krashen argues, simply a matter of comprehensible input, providing learners with language that can understand. So input is necessary both for Innatist theory, both for behaviorist theory. But what should be the finer or the finest input? Here Stephen Krashen, American linguist, actually he is not a linguist, he is an educationist. He said that input should be comprehensible. Comprehensible, what should be the comprehensible inputs? It requires a definition. Okay. At the time of monitor model, we will be discussing that. But before that, incomprehensible input is that reading will be input for writing, and listening will be input for. So what you will read and what you will. I said someone else. Okay, you are getting wet. You have a high blood pressure, so you have to walk every morning. Oh yes, I walk every day. I walk to my office. Okay, that is not the way of getting your weight lost. Those you have to walk in a different way. So you can say, sir, yes, reading is a comprehensible reading input. Because I read every book in English. So why don't be a comprehensible input? Krashen said no, it would not be a comprehensible reading. Actually, the pleasure reading. Pleasure reading, what sort of pleasure reading? This is academic reading, what you are doing. Pleasure reading, that means what you love. Suppose you love to play cricket, and if you like to read the sport page of a newspaper, that is pleasure reading. You like to read Facebook status. Okay. You like it. Okay. If you like to read the Facebook status in your target language, that would be in pleasure. Okay. And in case of listening, how should be the pleasure reading? You are listening by speech in English, isn't it? So would it be a comprehensible input? No, it wouldn't be a comprehensible input because it is academic reading. Actually, if you play a song, English song, if you watch the Bear Grylls show, is it? I like that show. I like it. Yeah, I like that person, and he inspired me in several ways to take the challenge. Okay, actually, and actually, fooding habit is up to everyone. You from your birth, you are accustomed to get some kind of food. If you are inspired in such a way that it is not birth in society or religion, then you will be accustomed to have this food. Okay. So that type of listening, that means if you watch Bear Grylls show in target language, that would be comprehensible input or comprehensible listening. Okay. So input will be there, and of course there should be the input should be there, and if it would be the comprehensible input, then the input will trigger very well to our language acquisition device, and we will learn language, and that is Inactive theory of language learning or second language acquisition. Okay, so okay, so it is the Innatist theory. Okay, we don't have any pressure, that means naturally we have to learn language. Okay, and children also progress through similar stages in the acquisition of language. Okay, most probably we have said in one class, that is, every child of every language will learn language in a quite similar time period. Within the 2 years, the child will learn a language. In case of Innatist theory, when and which way a child will learn what? He has said there are several stages of Innatist theory. What are the stages? There are 5 stages of Innatist theory. These are the babbling stage. Babbling stage up to 6 months, the children will start doing the sound ba 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 like that. The hollow phrase tick or one word stage. In this stage, they will be producing ba ba, ma, one word they can produce, and that stage is called hollow phrastic or one word stage. 2-word stage, after 1 year to, it varies. Okay, after 6 months, 6 to 9 months might be the 1 word, and 9 months to 1 year will be 2 word, and 1 year to 2 years that the children will be produce the telegraphic stage. That means the child can produce a sentence. Okay, so in Innatist theory, we see this stage. Gradually, the child will learn the language. 1 word, 2 word, and a sentence. Okay, so through this stage, child will be learning the language. Okay, and there are some drawbacks. Okay, there are some drawbacks of, or the negative side of Innatism. What are the lack? That means lack of scientific evidence to support the theory. Okay, actually, no scientific evidence. Why? Because, okay, every child will learn language from the help of our brain. It is the innatism. But it is observed, or it is assumed, that a baby girl will learn language quickly in comparison to a baby boy. A baby girl will learn language within 1 year, but a baby boy will be learning language within 16 to 18 months. Why? There is no answer in. Okay, another thing is that everybody knows, we know that Albert Einstein didn't produce a language up to 4 or 8 years, 6 years. So if innatist theory should be taken granted, so what happened to Albert Einstein? But there is a joke over there. Whenever Albert Einstein started talking, he said that yes, the curry is hot. But I said that why didn't you tell earlier? Then Albert Einstein said that means before this day everything was going well. একদিন খাবার টেবিলে হঠাৎ করে 6 বছর বয়সে অ্যালবার্ট আইনস্টাইন বললো যে হচ্ছে এই রান্নাটা খুব গরম হয়েছে বা ঝাল হয়েছে। Why didn't you tell any word before that? Everything was before. Well, আগে সবকিছু ভালো ছিল, সবকিছু ভালো করতেছিল। In innatist theory, this constraint cannot be answered. Okay, especially language learning and second language learning has been researched in several ways nowadays, and for this reason it is one of the leakage or shortcomings of innatist theory, and overemphasis on grammar in sentence structure. Previously, UG, universal grammar, what does it mean? He said that yes, what you will be following, you will be following the root of a language or rate of a language. So you have to, root means you have to follow the universal grammar. Every language will have its grammar. So it's not necessary to learn the vocabulary and other things. If you start focusing on the root, that means the universal grammar, you can learn every language. Okay, so innatist theory, especially innatist theory and universal grammar that were supported by the theory invented by Chomsky. And in innatist theory also, innatist theory basically emphasized the universal grammar and structure of a language, and not enough information on how children construct meaning from their sentence. Okay, construct meaning for their sentence. Okay, so that means, okay, they will learn language, but how they will learn the meaning? If a child does a bad thing, you will say, shut up! Okay. But if you just say shut up, then the child will understand that yes, if I do a bad thing, or my mom will say shut up. Shut up means don't do it. So from this way, in which way our brain will not the lexis of a language, it cannot be answered in innatist theory. Okay, and doesn't take into consideration children with condition such as Down syndrome, that means may affect or delay their language development. Okay, as we have said it earlier, that means if it is true that every child will be learning language in the quite similar way, so why we should be worried? Why we should be worried? Because some cases that children might make delay to learn their language. It is not answered. Okay, that is the theory relies on children being exposed to language but takes no account of the interaction between children and their carers. Okay, so exposed to, in innatist theory it is said that actually children should be exposed to language learning environment. Okay, but actually language learning environment, what does it mean? It means that, okay, again, if we put an analysis that after getting birth, if I put a child into the marketplace, in the marketplace everybody is talking, isn't it? So the child will naturally catch the sound and will start producing language. Is it okay? Carer means who will care the children? That means mom, father, neighbor, relatives, they will care. In innatist theory, actually mom will talk with the children in such a way that the people of the marketplace will not be talking. Mom will say, oh Baba, don't cry please, you will be making the nursery sound. So such kind of sound will be attracted by the child, and for this reason he will start learning language. In innatist theory, this portion is off. This portion had not been researched. It is only said, innatist theory only said that the child should be exposed to L2 data. That means English language or the target language learning situations. and naturally it will grab that. So that is another limitation of the nativist theory or naturalist theory. Okay, so thank you all, and most probably you have understood, and if you have any questions,